Sitting on the bar stool.
Yep.
What would happen to that bar stool if you're sitting on that bar stool and you start pushing the bar stool side to side?
May break.
It may break, yeah. I mean, if it's a poorly made bar stool, the legs may snap, right? At the very least, it's going to start tipping over. There's going to be little pieces here and there that start to tip over. Golf swing is kind of like sitting on a bar stool, at least with the lower body. Okay, so when we're sitting on that bar stool and we want to go say hi to our buddy who just walked into the door, right? We're going to turn around that bar stool. What's up, John? How you doing?
Yeah.
Turn back around, take another round. See a pretty girl walk by. Hello.
Yeah.
Right? We're not shifting it back and forth. And the golf swing the same way. So what I see in your golf swing is when you start this backswing, this left leg, this left lever, this left end of the bar stool is actually moving out towards the golf ball in this fashion. And regardless of how much you want to try to get this left hip flexor, this left butt cheek, this left everything back this way, back behind where it started, there's just not enough time. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to shove that bar stool and you're going to tip the bar stool over. It can make a bunch of different things happen with the club itself. It can make the club come from really far to the inside. It can make you come over the top and hit it a little steep. It can make you hit it off the toe. It can make you release the club early and hit it chunky. It can make you release the club late and hit it thin. You'll hit blocks, you'll hit snap hooks, you'll hit pulls. And it all comes from the same thing. It all comes from, for you specifically, and for actually quite a lot of people, it comes from, instead of pushing the right hip backwards to start, you're pushing the left hip forwards to start. Now the look in itself looks the same.
Yep.
It really does look pretty much the same, unless you're standing right down the line right here and you're imagining that little pane of glass kind of like we talked about before.
Weight.
Was that?
The shifting of the weight is different.
The shifting of the weight is very much different, right? So instead of going right heel, and I can still get my pressure on my left toe, right? But instead of going right heel, the majority of the pressure is going towards left toe. And even now, so I'd have to like work really hard and like straighten this leg to get the pressure back to that right heel, right? So the idea instead is that, like I said, we're sitting on that bar stool, right? And we're trying to push our momentum. And this, you know what? I'll grab an alignment stick because this is a really good visual for the momentum and the force that we're putting into it. So the momentum and the force that we're putting into it, for most people, including yourself, like I said, this stick is a really good image. For most people, including yourself, that stick really wouldn't be pushing that much. I'm trying my best. There you go. That stick really wouldn't be pushed that much. Most tour pros, most elite players, get that momentum pushing this way. And now that's where the centrifugal force is all pushing. If I'm moving at a fast pace, the centrifugal force is all getting slung back that way. On the way forward, we want that stick to go back around the other way, right? So, come on, stick. It's left, right. You may feel like you're doing it. I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to, actually for a second, jump in here, and you can do it with a club or without a club. That stick is going to go right down the tailbone.
Okay. All right.
And as you turn backwards, yes. Now as you turn forward, I want you to push that stick to the left. You see how quickly you came off the stick? I don't want you to come off that stick ever. There you go, good. That's that bar stool sitting down in that bar stool kind of feeling. This turn versus this turn, standing up to get out of the bar stool. Now, you can set up to hit a few practice swings just next to that tee or right around it. And I'm going to give you the feeling of what it feels like to really keep that left hip back here. You're not going to hit, man. You can hit if you want, but you probably will feel and fall slightly off balance. There you go, good. I'm expecting you to fall off balance because we haven't trained our muscles to hold us up in that position just yet. So I'm okay with that motion just now. Whenever you're ready. Good, really good. How are you feeling that? I kind of want you to relate that to me some way.
Yeah, that's a little goofy, but I get what you're saying.
Good, really good. we're going to hit bad ones probably for the first 10, 15 minutes, just because of your body's getting used to it. But we talked about it before. We're training the dumb muscles, the lower body muscles. We're training those muscles right now, and the smart muscles will be able to keep up. Attaway. Very good. That was very, very good. By doing this, we're going to see what your actual biomechanical path is. See if you're like a slightly over the top guy or slightly under the path guy, and then we'll be able to decide. But until we get these hips moving correctly, we can't really decide. Attaway. Good. Sorry. Might have yanked the pants down there a little bit. Yes. Now, I don't want you to necessarily, I'm noticing just a little bit, and if it is an exaggeration and not a thing that's going to stay constant, I'm okay with it. I'm noticing slightly that you're on your heels out of dress.
Well, you told me to. You told me to have the balance on the under the balls of my feet.
Yeah, but I'm noticing you're actually on your heels out of dress.
I'm like this. I'm right on the toes. Right on the toes.
Okay. Those last couple of swings that I saw you hit, you started and you kind of rocked onto your heels right before you swung,
okay,
which is going to push you onto your toes.
Well, I'm reminding myself to get on my.
I love it.
On the balls.
Okay, cool. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be something that you're going to ingrain. I just want to make a note that it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. That was really good. So let's feel like you're about to hit it. If you want to start generating some more speed, okay, you're going to put as much pressure into my palm here as you can on the, there you go, on the downswing. You're trying to push me over on the downswing. That's the feeling. And I'm going to resist you just a little bit, but I want you to shove that calf into me. Close. Ideally, your calf would never come off the palm of my hand.
Okay.
So make a backswing and just give yourself a feeling what that feels like for that calf to never come off the palm of my hand. There you go. Good. That was much better. That was much better. But now, one of the ways we can notice if we're doing it correctly or incorrectly, and it's kind of that O that you just made. Yeah. If we do it correctly, we're not going to have this feeling of shoving the belt buckle or the pelvis or any of that stuff out here.
Yeah.
It's going to feel a lot more here.
Can I be honest though?
Sure.
I got a lot going through my mind now.
Do you?
I've got the weight, I've got the hips, I've got the palm. I mean, so when we were talking at first, it was, hey, we're going to work within your swing. My swing's totally different than the first lesson we had 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I'm trying to do everything you got.
Yeah, I think you're doing it well.
But there's a lot going on in my mind.
We'll clean. Yeah, we can clean it up.
Okay. I like keeping it simple.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, it's just, I mean, I get the swinging and I'm loving how it's hitting, but with the palm now, I got the hips and it's just a lot going on.
I get that.
So
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I totally understand. So let's phrase it out so it makes it a little bit easier. Your balance is already really good.
Yeah.
So right hip back, left hip back. The rest of it will take care of itself. That's really where you don't have to think about anything else other than that hip movement today.
Yeah. Okay.
Your balance looks really good. Yeah. I'll show you on your video on your swing just now. Your balance looks really good. Yeah. So all you have to think about is right hip back, left hip back.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yum. When we start talking about ball flight itself, curvature, start line, well, not even start line, really just curvature and height, that's talking about like hand speed and hand rotation. We haven't talked about any of that kind of stuff. Okay. Right hip back, left hip back. Yes. That's very good. And that's As that's all you have to think about.
Yep.
Because you have such good hands already, Mike.
Yep.
You don't have to think about anything else other than right hip back, left hip back. Yep. And like I said, I want my students to know the why. I would love for my students to know the why. So your why has to make sure that it's not, you'll notice your why. Your why is, why did I hit that one kind of poor? Why, most of the time for you, why did I hit that one heavy? Yeah. It's, you can look down and you can see that pelvis has moved forward. Okay. And now you take a note of the belt buckle instead of that pelvis moving backwards. Yeah. If you hit a bad swing, you're going to look down, you're going to notice that your knees aren't touching. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, my pelvis moved forward. Okay. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. 1,000 times yes.
So I'm aiming for that yellow flag. Am I lined up good?
You're lined up perfectly. So I'm starting to see, and I'm just looking at your numbers while I'm seeing that, I'm starting to see that you're a slight push draw kind of player. So your ball's going to start slightly right and then go and then curve to the left. Okay. So ideally, a player that has that kind of ball flight, we don't ever really want to cross that line. Yeah. We don't ever really want to cross that yellow flag. So anything right or on that yellow flag is really very good. Okay. Right hip back, left hip back. That's very good. Can't remember who it was, but it's probably been said a bunch of times. If we can take out one side of the golf course, if you never hit it left ever again, you're going to play really, really good golf. Because that means you can aim as far left as you want. Yeah. You get up to number 9 with that pin on the far left side, yep. You can aim right at that flag and know that you're never going to hit it there. All right. It's pure. That is probably the best thing you've made today. I know it was a little left, but that...
It's not going to be in the rough, in the water.
How far were you hitting that? How far do you hope to hit that?
150, 155.
Okay. That's very good.
What was that?
150 carry, it probably rolled to like 155. That's 160. That was flushed. Yeah. Whoa. And that, your numbers are absolutely perfect there. I wouldn't change that. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and switch clubs.
I'll take that.
I know.
And what do you want?
What's kind of the club that gives you the most issues?
I would say low irons or the hybrids. Or the 3-wood.
You want to go 3-wood?
Yeah.
Let's go 3-wood. Right hip back, left hip back. The feeling is all the same. The more centralized you can stay on that rotation, the more that low point stays in the center. Yep. A lot of players start, when they, like I said, when they shift to the side and they push that bar stool to the side, that low point's now back here. And they have to figure out how to get that low point not only back to the golf ball, but in front of the golf ball by the time they hit it. And there's just not enough time. If we stay centralized and we have this rotation around the bar stool here, that low point stays the same. And so now the more you want to start generating speed, we're just feeling like we're pushing our feet into the ground more. That's only if you want to reach back and get one. We're not swinging harder. We're not swinging further back. We're just really shoving that pressure into the ground. You're going to feel like you're squeezing your quads. Okay. Is really kind of the feeling. But let's hit a few good ones here before we start generating that speed. Right hip back, left hip back. That's very good. I think what you're going to be pleased with is how quickly the contact really starts to show. I think you're aimed over there, but
Yeah, I am. I'm intentionally kind of. Yeah,
it's very good.
yeah. I'll take those last two any day of the week. Oh, that was just like a lazy.
I like how you stated that, because that'd be a good way of putting it.
I'm totally gonna lose my best.
I mean, that's crushed. We can actually start talking about hand speed and hand rotation. How far do you normally want to hit that?
210, 220.
Yeah, that's very much around there. That was a 146 smash factor. Just so you know, 152 is as high as you can go.
Oh God.
Just got a little fast with it.
Yep.
A little quick with it. Right hip back, left hip back.
Had big dreams for that one.
Yeah. I like the way you put that. It's smoked, man. That's really, really, really good. Okay, so let's kind of start talking about.
Can I do one more?
Absolutely.
Got a straight one back out there.
Yeah. That's what we're about to start talking about, getting a straight one back out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're all right. Dude, no, you're okay. You'll see it on YouTube probably a bunch of different times, the wall drill. And what most players think you're supposed to do, and you can use a wall. I like using a chair because it can move if I hit too hard. What players think you're supposed to do is they think you're supposed to get set up with that pane of glass or that tailbone or those butt cheeks on the wall.
Okay.
What that produces, if you set up to it on the wall, what that produces is it produces a pushing forward of the left hip flexor.
Yep.
It doesn't allow for the right hip flexor to move backwards like we want it to. The correct way to do this drill is to set up a few inches away, and it doesn't have to be, it can be far enough away so that there's no possibility of you hitting it ever.
Okay.
But the idea is to try to get your right cheek to touch it and then your left cheek to touch it.
Okay.
Okay. I don't ever want to be up on this wall. And as a matter of fact, if you're ever doing this at home, a really good place to do is the corner of the wall. You can put the edge of the corner of the wall right there on your tailbone.
Yep.
And you can right cheek against the wall, left cheek against the wall. And you can see it's not a. Here's where the old motion was.
Yeah.
And here's where we want that new motion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give that a feeling.
Okay.
What I would love for you to, and you can hit, the good thing about that chair too is you can actually do it, you can hit balls against that chair.
Okay.
That's lovely. That's really good. I'll take that 10 out of 10 times.